Hello, for anybody who has been reading my blog, I am Boo the Steampowered Penguin, and my site is the writing type, .wordpress.com or whatever, and it's also writing type, no the this time, that was already taken, so just writing type, all one word, for Twitter as well. I haven't done really any writing, any blogging, anything for a couple of months now, really since kind of early to mid, I nearly said November, early to mid February. I've been going through a real rough patch. Anybody who has read my blog in the past knows I've had a lot of health issues, and that those have been really causing me kind of to become depressed and anxious and all this, that and the other, and that's really come to a head these last few months, and I've lost all urge to do anything. But I'm trying to pull myself back together. So I've decided to do Route 80 again. For those of you who don't know, Route 80 is around the world in 80 days. You can look that up on WordPress, which I think is what they're hosted through. I think, don't hold me to that, it's row80.wordpress.com, I think. But if you Google Route 80, you should find it. The idea is that you have 80 days of writing. For those of you who know what Nano is, if NaNoWriMo is a sprint, Route 80 is a marathon. But it's kind of, you set your own goals. For one, you have to check in twice a week on Wednesdays and Sundays to kind of update the nice people who run Route 80 as to how you're going. So you can do sort of as little or as much as you like. I know somebody who has literally done a Nano for 80 days. So that 1,667 words that you're supposed to write every day during Nano, she did that for 80 days. She had a lot of words. Last time I did it, then I didn't complete it because like I said, my head basically exploded all over the place. But I got about halfway through. I didn't do too bad, I suppose. I was already going through some issues at the time, so whatever, second attempt. Last time, like I said, I basically committed to do half an hour of writing every single day. That's it. Ooh, it went dark. That was just my computer going very odd. Actually, you may have not seen that. It may have just been my screen rather than the actual image you just saw, so you may be very confused as to why it went, ooh, it went dark. Anyway. So I've decided to do Route 80 again for the second time, and 2 weeks late. Because I wasn't originally going to do anything except for the fact that I've decided to get myself out of this little hole that I've managed to claw my way into and been hibernating in for a while. So, hold on. Oh god, that's really sweet. I shouldn't ask other people to make me tea, it ends badly. Kind of saccharine-y. Yeah. So, last time I did 30 minutes a day of writing. I, at the time, had my hand in splints. I was only really using my iPad, although I did have a desktop. It was downstairs, my bedroom is upstairs, and I have a bad ankle, which means it's very difficult to get down there. So even though I had a desktop, I was still inclined to do my typing on my iPad. I now have my desktop in my bedroom, my very, very messy bedroom. I also, as you can see, am not wearing a splint. That's because I've managed to get, you can't really see it because it's attached to my desktop and I can't pull it out far enough for you to see it. I also have an ergonomic keyboard. It's very weird. It kind of goes up and down again, like a little arch, so your hands are like this angle rather than flat, which is far more comfortable. It's got a squishy wrist part for you to rest your wrist on, which again is very comfortable. And its keyboard is kind of in two parts. It's got a gap in the centre, which is really hard to get used to, and especially like my T is on this hand side, but I want to hit it with this hand. So it's very odd. I kind of occasionally find myself just travelling over to hit the T and then coming back to the right side of the board. But all in all, I really love it. And it although I've done a very limited amount of writing in the last couple of months, I have done some, I have played with it. It took me a couple of hours to get used to, but I love it. So this is a good chance to really see how this baby does. It's just a Microsoft one, nothing fancy, couldn't afford anything fancy. Couldn't actually afford this, but my dad, who was amazing, got it for me. I think it cost him about 40 quid, just about $28 or something, for those of you in America. I was going to say some other stuff. Oh yes, so I feel like I can actually do some more than half an hour now, because I don't need to wear my splints. I have my desktop in my bedroom, so I don't need to work on my iPad. So I'm going to try to write for an hour a day, a solid hour. Still doesn't sound like much, but my wrists still hurt, so I don't care. It's more than I have been doing for a very long time. Try and write for an hour a day. Typically in an hour, if I push hard, I can get about 2,500 words done. I know this from a lot of experience with word wars, that I can manage about 1,250 words in half an hour. So I should be getting, you know, that's a fair amount. 2,500 words a day, that's a fair amount. But I'm not going to hold myself to a word count. I'm going to hold myself to the time count, just an hour. So if I do less than that, I'm not fussed. It might be that I have a really difficult scene that takes a lot of kind of mulling over as I'm writing it, in which case if I get 500 words, I don't care. So long as I know that I've been sitting down and writing every single day. I'm also going to have another goal. What's kind of spurred me to come out of this depression, I suppose, has been the fact that I was contacted by a friend I knew in college. So a few years ago now, 3 or 4. And she has written a manuscript, and she said that she'd really appreciate it if I looked over it for her. She said that her other friends weren't really interested, and that her mum has read it but won't give her any real critical feedback, doesn't want to insult her baby's work, obviously. So I read it, and for the most part I really enjoyed it. She's got a humorous, concise style. She's very good at writing characters. Like even characters who don't have much kind of page time as it is, you find yourself completely invested in them. You want to know their stories. It's kind of a shame that some of them cut off. I think she's planning to do a sequel. It feels like she's planning to do a sequel from how this story finished. She's got some issues. So the first half of it is very kind of, it's full of exposition, which can really be, that's a really good way to slow a story down, to completely make it drag. It's useful, but it's dull. And her climax is incredibly rushed. I don't know if it was, but it feels incredibly rushed. There are points that she could have spent more time on, there are things that she could have spent more time doing, and she hasn't, or she hasn't known what to do with them or whatever, and it shows, and it really hurts the rest of the novel, because it is good. She's got a very good grounding here. So I contacted her, and since I'm doing nothing else in my life, I said, do you want me to print it out, edit it completely, grammar and spelling to tiny nitty gritty points, and tearing apart your scenes and the whole shebang, and then put it in a ring binder folder and send it back to you, post it to you. She said that she would be very grateful and she'd really appreciate that, so I have bought some highlighters. and I've begun to print out in double spacing her work. And I am going to... I want to have this all done and all edited before the end of Row 80. Well before the end of Row 80. I think 40 days is my max. But she knows, like, she knows other stuff has been going on for me and that it might take a little while. But at the end of the day, you know, I don't mind doing it for her. She doesn't mind waiting, so that's fine. But I'm going to try and get that off to her as quickly as possible, really. So I want to do, like I said, some writing and I want to do some editing. I don't know whether to go into what I'm planning to write because I do kind of have an idea, but this is already 11 minutes long. So, and then I'm going to stop it here. Might write it on my blog what I'm actually going to do. Okay, yeah, I'm going to stop this video here, and either tomorrow or later today if I feel like it, I am going to hop back over and I'll either write down in my blog, which is The Writing Type, all one word, THEWRITINGTYPE, all one word, .wordpress.com. It's got like a blue background of balloons and stuff. I'll hop over to there, or I'll hop back onto my YouTube and I'll do kind of an update on what my story actually is going to be. And maybe a little bit on the editing I'm doing. But probably not. So you can wait for that today or tomorrow, and I'll let you know. But for now, yep, that's it. Trying to pull myself back together. Got a new keyboard. Desktop is in here. Gonna try and stop my head from exploding. Certain things I can't do anything about, nightmares and whatnot. But I'm gonna try and keep myself from falling into depression again. And I'm going to do this by distracting myself with Row 80, in which my 2 goals, as now set down by me, are to edit my friend's work and write for an hour a day. Bye!